So this philodendron was discovered by a landscape artist slash conservation activist by the name of Roberto. Hey guys, I'm Dennis. Welcome to my channel, Guy with a Plant. In today's episode, I'm going to show you some of my favorite philodendrons that I have in my collection. So without further ado, let's look at some plants. The first philodendron I'm going to show you is this Berlinmarks Fantasy. Oh gosh, what is this? Is that a mini bug? Okay, I'm just going to clean it off later. Yeah, so back to the plant. So as you can see, it has a very interesting growth pattern. So it has a very organized and very neat way of growing. This is definitely a climber, so it's time to give it a small moss pole. Okay, I put a photo of a mature plant and the leaves can get really quite big. This is considered pretty small. So this is about an inch in length, but I think it can grow to easily 3 or 4 times the size. So this philodendron was discovered by a landscape artist slash conservation activist by the name of Roberto Berlinmarks. Yeah, look at these arrow roots here. So what I really like about this philodendron is the subtle venation on the leaves. This definitely doesn't have an in-your-face type of beauty like some of the philodendrons. I really do appreciate the intricate patterns. Let me try to give you a close-up. And also it has this silvery bluish kind of tinge at a certain angle. And I really like the way it grows, you know, how the leaves really hang down, almost flat, and yeah, it'll make a very good shingling plant. And the mature leaves are quite stiff, so you got to be careful not to break them when you handle this plant. So I just give it very regular philodendron care. It gets watered every 7 days, and really bright light, but definitely indirect. I don't want to burn the leaves. I fertilize this with a slow release fertilizer, and I don't think humidity is really critical. So for all of my philodendrons, I give them a very porous, loose aroid mix with lots of pumice and perlite. This is the Philodendron Florida Beauty. Wow, look at this. I think this is good for a thumbnail, right? So this is a variegated version of the Philodendron Florida. The Florida is actually a hybrid between, I think, Squamiferum and something. Let me check. This is the variegated version of a hybrid between Philodendron Squamiferum and Philodendron Pedatum. Check out the crazy variegation. Look at this leaf. Wow. And there are actually 2 half moon leaves. This one, as well as the other one. Oh, it's here. Look at this. So both of these are unfurled under my care. And this is also a new leaf. Look at this very beautiful variegation. So the original leaves are the lower one, the smaller ones. And this one I think is going to be a goner soon. It has served its purpose, one of the original leaves. When I first got it, the original leaves are the bottom few. All of them are still around. But of course, the bigger ones are the newer leaves. And the newest one that unfurled is this green one. Unfortunately, it looks as if it's going to be totally green. And look at the arrow roots. Growing crazy here. I suppose I can start to propagate this, but it's looking so beautiful, I'm a little reluctant to do so. Maybe it'll do it some good if I chop it up to activate some more new growth. But it's actually growing quite fast. Look, there's actually a new leaf that is coming out. I don't really water this that often compared to the rest of my philodendrons. I think I water this about every 10 to sometimes even 14 days. And it's perfectly fine. Oh look, there's a little root that's climbing out of the pot, so maybe it's also time to repot this. It will definitely appreciate a moss pole because this is also a climber. But meanwhile, I'm just appreciating its beauty in full glory. So this is my Philodendron Florida Beauty. Okay, are you guys ready for the next one? I'm super excited. This is the Philodendron Atabaponsiae, and this is, I would say, a very nice, healthy looking one. Okay, I'm not blowing my own trumpet. I got to give credit to the person who sold it to me because I got it almost as a full plant. But the original leaves are really small, as you can see. These are the original leaves, the smaller ones. But look at how big the new leaves are. I think this is a new leaf. This is definitely the latest one, very big. I think about 40 centimeters. This was the second new leaf. And yeah, these are all the new ones that came out. And check out the latest one that is unfurling. Oh man, this is so beautiful. And yeah, it's very, very red because that's how the back of the leaves are. Super dark maroon in color. Yeah, I can't stop staring at this new leaf. It's like a roll-up cigar. Now look at all the crazy aerial roots. So definitely this needs a pull, and I believe it will definitely give me way bigger leaves if I let it climb. But I'm happy with this at the moment. Yeah, let you see the side view, the front, and then the beautiful back view. Yeah, so you can see the base here. These are the older leaves, the smaller leaves. But no, it's way too beautiful at the moment for me to chop it up. I can't do it. Yeah, but look at this, all primed for propagation with all the nodes and the aerial roots. Super excited. I'm super pumped with this plant. Yeah, it can be a dupe for the coveted Spiritus Senti. Of course, I know they are not the same, but they look pretty similar, I must say. So I'm happy with this. I don't need the Spiritus Senti. Okay, and one thing to note about its light requirements is, so it has these red backs, right? So it doesn't really need a whole lot of light because the purpose of the red backs is actually to prevent the light from going through the leaves and to hopefully bounce back some of the light for the leaves to photosynthesize. So yeah, it doesn't really need much very bright light. In fact, if you do give it really bright light, I think the color will start to fade off a little bit. So medium light will actually do for this philodendron. Yeah, I definitely need to take a photo for Instagram. Look at this. This is the Philodendron Smuradins. Yeah, I got this during the Singapore Garden Festival, and that was in August. This is a plant from Equagenera. I got it at a really good deal. I think it was their last day, and they are having a 50% off, so I needed to get this. This was priced at $70, but of course with the discount I only paid $35 for this. So it was a pretty full plant, but of course it was not potted up, it was bare rooted. And it looked a little bit limp, so I was quite concerned as to whether I can... So I was quite concerned as to whether will it survive. So I quickly potted it up on the same day, and 1 week later I gave it a moss pour because it was really very limp. And I've lost some of the original leaves. In fact, this was the latest to go. I lost another 2. So I was quite concerned about root rot, but since then it has stabilized. It has given me a new leaf, but this took forever to unfurl, and it remained really small and honestly quite deformed. I'm not sure why. I think it had trouble unfurling, but it should be okay now, fingers crossed, because it has given me another new leaf that's going to unfurl. You can see the new leaf is a little bit maroon in color. I really like the shape of the leaves of this Smuradins. It's very long. I think it definitely can grow longer, and it's kind of ribbed with this lime green mid-rib. So yeah, it's really nice. And check out this arrowroot. So as it grows further, maybe another few more months, give it a few more months, I can propagate this. Okay, next one is this Philodendron Maximum. I'm really proud of this philodendron because it came to me as a single leaf cutting. This is the original leaf. Yeah, it looks as if it's yellowing, and I think it's probably going to be gone soon, having served its purpose. But look at this, it has grown a separate vine here, and it started to climb after I've given it a moss pole. Yeah, you can check out my previous video. I think it was my DIY moss pole video that I actually gave this the moss pole. I think that was about a month or so ago. And very quickly I had to extend the pole again. So this is a testament as to how fast this maximum is growing. Let me show you the aerial roots. Yeah, look at this one. And as it grows, it is firmly attached. So I think it's enjoying this moss pole. And look at the leaves. I think the newer ones are getting bigger and bigger compared to the very first new leaf. Okay, this is a little bit burnt. I really like the texture of the leaf. It's really soft and pillowy. It's just like the Philodendron McDowell or Pastazanum. I'm not sure whether will it get a little bit glossy and thicker. Its leaves are definitely still small compared to the mature ones. And look at this runaway arrowroot. Yeah, they managed to grow into the moss, but for those who did, look at this. Yeah, the roots are really happy inside the moss. Wow. And yeah, there's a new leaf that is coming out. It's always yeah, growing a new leaf. So guys, give your climbing philodendrons a pole. They will really appreciate it. So this is my Philodendron Maximum. Okay, the next philodendron isn't looking that great, but I will show it to you anyway because it's one of my favorites, definitely. Yeah, this is the Philodendron Jose Bono. Yeah, I don't know why this leaf has decided to grow upwards when the rest of them are just floppy. Yeah, it's not looking very good. It's actually a top cutting. And look at the new leaf that unfurled. And look at the new leaf, really crispy. Is it too dry? I'm not sure. I mean, the potting medium is loose, but it's always moist. So I think it's still acclimatizing to my new apartment. I think it got a little bit sunburned initially. This is too dry. So hopefully the new leaves will be better, but the latest new leaves are actually not any better. I mean, they kind of dried up even before they open up, but this is potentially a beautiful one. Yeah, I think this has a half moon variegation, but look, really crispy, really crispy. So if you're familiar with Jose Bono, let me know. Do they like their potting medium to be really moist, or do they need to be dry up? Look as if it's you know, very dry, which is not really the case. I mean, I kept it moist, so I'm not sure. Yeah, so this is also a new leaf. This is the nicest looking one, but it's a little bit deformed. Look at the shape. So the only thing I can do is to wait and see. Hopefully it will stabilize and the new leaves will be better looking. This is my most imperfect looking philodendron, but I still love you. So my plant task for this is to check on its roots. So hopefully I can uncover something. Philodendron Jose Bono. Okay, the last philodendron is a hybrid. This is definitely my favorite philodendron hybrid. This is the Philodendron Majestic. So this is a hybrid between Philodendron verrucosum as well as Philodendron gloriosum. So if you look at the back of the leaves, you can see the similarities with verrucosum, the red backs. And the leaves are similar to that of gloriosum. But look at the silvery patterns on the leaves. They are so beautiful. So I got this as a 2-leaf cutting, but the 2 original leaves are long gone. But I don't seem to be able to keep the leaves intact. They tend to yellow off. Is this overwatering with the yellow ring here? Or it could be due to pest issues. This Majestic is really prone to spider mites. So I got to be really on top of pest management for this particular Philodendron. Unlike the rest of them, which don't really have any pest issue, it's a more needy Philodendron, or at least under my conditions. So I'll spray neem oil mix to it every week on the leaves and on the petioles, as well as around the potting medium. So this is also a climbing Philodendron, so that's why it's given a moss pole. Yeah, and this is my latest leaf, looking really nice. So the texture of this Majestic is really soft, and as you can see, there are a lot of ridges on the leaves, so that's why I think the spider mites really like it. They can actually hide amongst these ridges. I've seen really big specimens with all the huge leaves. So I can't wait for this to grow up a little bit bigger, and I hope that it's able to retain its leaves. It has given me many new leaves, but they just turn yellow and fall off. So I hope this new one will be more stable. This moss pole is really crunchy, really dry. Need to water this now. So this is my Philodendron Majestic. So these are some of my favorite Philodendrons in my collection. Let me know in the comment section below what is your favorite one. And if you like contents like that, I hope you can subscribe to my channel. Meanwhile, take care, and I shall see you again in my next video. And remember to show your plants some love.